start the day by diving down and checking under my favorite coral head. The surgeonfish sees me, but he doesn't want anything to do with me. He takes one last look back at me and then he swims off for good. Then the squirrelfish gets curious about all the commotion, but he doesn't want to mess with me either. I grab for this lobster, but I'm running out of oxygen, and so I decide to make a dash for the exit. I also just don't like the feeling of being trapped under a massive coral head. I hit the bottom here in the shallows and do a couple grunts to try to draw in this hogfish, but he's not super interested. I decide to switch up my strategy and try to dive bomb him, but he kept his distance, and in the end he never let me get close enough. I see this royal on the bottom, so I load up my spear quickly and I dive down to chase after him. He darts under this ledge, but I can still kinda see him, so I line up my shot. I fire my spear and it ends up making contact. In this scenario, there's two things that you can do. You can either jam your spear in against the sand or the rock behind it to pin the fish on the spear, or you can let the spear go, making it harder for the fish to shake it off. I decide to let the spear go and swim back up towards the surface. In this case, unfortunately, it ended up being the wrong decision and the roy was able to shake itself off. Even though that roy got away, I still got to say hi to this beautiful turtle. He even gives me a little blessing as I start my next dive. This is such a beautiful shot here. When I'm doing deeper dives, I dive down with my spear unloaded, that way my body can conserve more oxygen. Fortunately for this roy, it also means that I had to take the time to load the spear once I see him. I line up my shot, and I end up hitting the wall right behind him. I spot this cool little cave, so I decide to check it out. There was nothing on the inside of the cave, but when I got to the end, I saw this kala looking at me from the distance. The kala swam in a little closer and I lined up my spear. Right here, I felt like I could have sprinted forward over the reef and got a shot off, but I didn't feel like eating kala tonight. I spotted a roy dive under this ledge, so I quickly load up my spear. He pokes his head out, so I dive down quickly to try to get a shot off. I hit him right in the neck and he starts thrashing around like crazy. I dive down to retrieve him, but it was already too late. He completely wiggled himself off the spear. The shot had excellent placement, but I hadn't charged up the spear enough to get sufficient penetration. I see him swimming around, so I dive down to try to get an opportunity for a second shot. I check under every ledge I can find, but by this point it's pretty clear that he's already darted off into some hole where I'm not going to find him. And from the looks of it, it seemed like he was pretty healthy. I didn't get the roy, but check out these cool guys. These fish have the unique ability to change colors similar to an octopus. His friend even comes by to say hi too. I spotted a good-sized snapper go under this ledge, so I load up my spear and dive down to prepare my ambush. I see him poke his head out, so I take a shot. The placement was decent, but he was both out of range and I didn't charge up my spear enough. I see this omulu on the bottom, so I dive down to say hi. He's way too small for me to spear, so I leave him to get bigger and hopefully I end up seeing him again. This roy spots me and darts towards his hiding place. I dive down to say hi, but he doesn't come out to meet me. I get back up to the surface and immediately I see another roy coming from the exact same place going towards the exact same hole. I dive down quickly this time and try to intercept him. I take a last-ditch shot to try to get him before he darts away, but he ends up dodging it easily. Check out this big guy. He obviously came from a monster lobster. Just look at the size of him in my hands. I'm right off the shore now when this turtle comes over to say hi. Look how beautiful this shot is, and he ends up coming right in front of me. The way he slowly floats down under this ledge is so beautiful. I'm really happy I got to see this.